keep your eyes out on Mumbai Falcon.
Some interesting stuff coming up. Look forward to racing to the future.
Well, the temperatures have started cooling down right here at the Dubai Autodrome. But then we've got a race in hand. It's race 3 of the Formula Regional Asian Championship 2022. Hello and welcome. If you've just joined us, let me tell you, you've come to the right place if you're a racing fan. But before I move to Jake, who you've been listening to on commentary all throughout the day, I've got with me Kathleen, a safety driver, and I really have to speak to you because we've had a couple of incidents on the track. I just want to know from your team, how have you been dealing with it?
Well, first of all, the main priority when safety car procedure is being deployed is the safety of all drivers and all marshals that are deployed to the incident to clean up on track. The speed of the safety car is detected by race control at all times, so we always do what race control is indicating us to do. Yeah, we make sure that the track is clean as fast as possible in a safe manner, and then they get the green light and racing once again.
Perfect. Well, we've got a lot of viewers right here, and they would definitely want to know a little more about the roles of a safety driver. If you could just educate us on that.
Sure. So the safety car is composed out of 2 members, a safety car driver and a safety car observer. While a safety car driver has the role of keeping the car on track at fast pace, the observer manages the communications with race control and observation of the incidents around them and the pack, plus any debris on track. Since the pandemic in 2020, we decided to swap roles. So one day the car is driven by Michael and the other day by me. And by doing so, we are both perfectly trained to train a newbie in case one of us should be down with Corona one weekend last moment.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much, Caitlin, and keep up the good work. And we are indebted for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, here we have Jake. All right, let's talk about the race that we've had in our hands today. Race 2, of course, had Mumbai Falcons again written over it. Yesterday also was a historic day, rather, for the Indian motorsports. What do you reckon are the chances in this particular race?
Well, if they want to go for a hat-trick, they're really going to pull out the stops, because this is going to be the hardest race of them all to win. They had a bit of an advantage in race 2 with Dino Beganovic because he had fresher tyres on than the other drivers, so he was able to maximise that opportunity. This time it's going to be even tougher because Delano Van Toff came out of the blocks with a brilliant lap in Q2 yesterday to put him on pole position for Q3, and there are a few other drivers who are going to be making a big impact in this race, slightly out of position, so it will be very, very interesting to see who's actually going to get the best run, especially now that the temperatures have cooled down a bit. It could make things very interesting.
That's right, of course, there are a lot of permutation and combinations in terms of temperature, weather, all to the track and the circuit. But before that, since Mumbai Falcons are having a great day so far, let's find out what their team principal Amram had to say. The Formula Regional Asian Championship 2022 has Mumbai Falcons written all over it. The Falcons are flying high and they've come into this season all guns blazing. I've got with me a very, very happy man from the team principal, Arman. Arman, I mean, you've dominated so far, and yesterday was quite the day with you dominating all 3 positions. As a team principal, what did you just go back and tell your drivers?
We're heading in the right direction. We started off with consistency in the first round, with a consistent run of podiums. Obviously, Sebastian winning the first race was a great opener for us. We've had 3 poles in 3 of the Q1 sessions that we've had in 3 rounds, and 2 of them have been converted to wins. Yesterday was unbelievable, where it was a dream as a team to finish 1, 2, and 3. We finished 1 and 3 before this, and we always said, the plan is to get a 1 and 2, and then a 1, which we did achieve in the reverse grid race last weekend. And then we said, okay, let's go 1 further and let's do the 1, 2, 3, the triple, right? And then things just fell into place yesterday. We had really luck on our side, obviously, with the others getting an unfortunate penalty, but you take all that you can get, right? And yeah, it was a dream as a team to finish 1, 2, and 3, and all you can do is congratulate the mechanics, the boys, the drivers, everyone involved for such an effort. But again, you come to a quick realization that you're only halfway through the season, and we got 2 more races today and then 2 more rounds to follow after this. So
that's right, the focus is back. But if you talk about the team as such, it is working as a well-oiled machine. What are the ethics of the team that you guys are following?
Yeah, we've got a good vibe right now. I think everyone's gelling well, be it the drivers, the engineers, the mechanics, all seem to be well suited to one another. But it's still very, very competitive. So, it does, and if you watched yesterday's race as well, the guys are going flat out with each other to score as many points as they can, individually as drivers as well. So, it's quite nerve-wracking in the pits while the races are going on, but it's also great that we are very competitive and we're fighting up front. So, I don't mind dealing with the nerves in the pits as long as we're winning races.
As long as the adrenaline is on. But having said that, if we talk about this particular championship, I've spoken to a couple of drivers and the tyre regulations seem to be still a bit of a question mark. What is your take on it?
It's the same for all. Being a single-make championship, if the rules change, it changes for everyone. So you just got to adapt to it and move forward and make the most out of whatever the rule puts forward to us. And you just try and make the most out of trying to find the best equation for them, basically.
That's right. Well, as a driver yourself, aren't you itching to go back on that track?
I'm always itching, but nothing brings more joy than seeing something that you've been a part of and put together become successful, or it's on the path to finding success. It's been such an amazing road the last 2 years, with Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited. When we came here last year, we won races and we were competitive. And we finished 3rd in the championship, but then this year to come and now leading from the front is a great step forward, especially for an Indian team. So it's a proud moment to be part of, and we just want to see it through, just ride the tide till the end.
I know, there is a lot to look forward to, but very quickly, what have you enjoyed more? Or what has been a bigger challenge?
Obviously driving a car to its limits has always been my #1 passion, but even when I'm not driving, when we decided to take the back seat and to pursue the other side of the pit lane, it was a conscious step to promote and help the Indian ecosystem of motorsport, and I think I enjoy that as well. To see that coming to light and providing more opportunities for the Indian motorsport ecosystem is great. It's very beneficial as well.
All right. Well, I wish you all the best, Arman. And of course, wish you all the best ahead of the second race. That is very, very important. Gets tougher from here. So all the best to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, that's Mumbai Falcons all geared up, coming out aggressive. Watch out for this team as the race has just begun. Indeed, they are geared up for sure, and that was Arman Ibrahim, team principal, Mumbai Falcons. It's getting windy right here at the Doohan Autodrome. The sun has settled in, and on 4th position, we've got Sebastian Montoya from the Falcons. His chances, Jay.
Yeah, well, absolutely. This is his last race and he really wants to go out on a swan song. He had a fantastic couple of race wins earlier in the year. In fact, his last one was yesterday. So he really wants a good performance and he's going to be alongside his teammate Arthur Leclerc with the two pinnacles of Delano Van Toff and Pepe Marti on the front row of the grid. It'll be very exciting for him to go out on a high.
It indeed will be, and I caught up with Connie Montoya, his mother, and of course I asked her that how difficult is it to handle two such men in your house. On one hand you've got Pablo Montoya, the other you've got Sebastian. Look, find out what the lady had to say. Well, I've got with me a very, very happy lady because her son has been quite the sensation, also called the Colombian sensation, Sebastian Montoya's mother, Connie Montoya. Well, you definitely have two very incredible and aspirational men right in your house. How tough is it to deal with them?
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated. With Juan Pablo, I've been with him 20 years, so I've gotten used to it, but it's very different when it's your son. The sensation, the stress level is very different, but it's really nice.
It is indeed. So I saw you wishing Sebastian for the race because, you know, he's taken pole position in the qualifying. What did you make of his performance so far?
I think he's doing an amazing job, especially because he's a rookie. We came here to the Formula Regional Asia just for him to gain experience, to see what he could do, and he's really amazed us. He's put a lot of hard work and it's paid off.
So, you know, I was speaking to your husband, Juan, and he told me, I asked him, what is the difference between you and Sebastian? And he said, Sebastian is a better man. I want to know from you.
Yes, truly, Sebastian is more focused, is not so temperamental. He manages everything a little bit better. Juan Pablo is just explosive.
Well, Sebastian begs to differ from that, but having said that, if you were to tell anything to Sebastian just before a race, what is it usually?
I normally tell him to have fun. If he's not enjoying it, there's no reason for him to do it. Just have fun, learn a lot, and hopefully do good, but have fun.
Perfect. How has the Formula Regional Asian Championship contributed to his career so far, though?
I think it's been amazing because, as I said, we came here just to gain experience before his championship in Europe, and looking how well he's done, it's giving him so much confidence and knowing that if he works hard, the results come, so it just motivates him more. So it's a really good experience.
And how about Mumbai Falcons as a team?
An amazing team. It really, really is an amazing team. He's felt so at home. Everybody, it's just an amazing experience.
All right, Connie, I'm going to wish you best, and I'm going to wish your son all the best. I hope he goes ahead and makes you very, very proud as usual.
Thank you very much for the support.
Thanks to Ridima and thanks to Connie Montoya as well. Great to hear from the mother of Sebastian Montoya ahead of his last race in the Formula Regional Asian Championship. We're going to miss him. He's been absolutely fantastic over these 3 weekends, and he might just bow out the way he started this season with a win. Let's talk our way through this Dubai Autodrome circuit. The Grand Prix layout, 5.32 kilometers in length. And you can see how that first sector is very tight, very twisty, and incredibly close-natured. That back straight, where you build up to the highest speed on the course, into the slowest corner on the track, turn 10. We've seen a lot of overtaking opportunities, both successful and failed on that part of the course. Another great battle is likely to be had in this race in turn 12 and on the run up to 13 into 14, where that left-hand hairpin changes camber mid-apex. And then on that run down to 15, the right-hander, that is where Dino Beganovic grabbed the lead in race 2 around the outside of Michael Belov. And then the final corner that brings you on to the home straight once again. You're in for a bit of a show in the third and final race of round 3, as we have gone past the halfway point now in the championship. And it's definitely going to be a very interesting race that concludes the action in the Formula Regional Asian Championship. And it is definitely going to be very close and very tough to make sure we are going to be going racing up at the sharp end of the dais. We will have a very close battle, that is guaranteed. But who on earth is going to be our race winner this time? We will have a very tough race battle. We'll have a very close-natured race between our competitors. But for Delano Van Toff and Pepe Marti on the front row of the grid, they have just one objective: stay where you are. They want to be in front of the Mumbai Falcons by the time the checkered flag flies. But how difficult is that going to be when you've got Arthur Leclerc, the championship leader, and Sebastian Montoya right in behind? Away they go for the green flag lap. So Delano Van Toff in pole position, Pepe Marti in second, Arthur Leclerc is third, Sebastian Montoya is fourth. Then Isaac Hajar in the high-tech, Pierre-Louis Chauvet in the black arts. Then it is Patrick Pasma, who runs seventh on the grid. Leonardo Fornaroli is in eighth place. Then Lorenzo Flusha and Michael Belov. And then it'll be Joshua Dufek and Paul Aron from Dino Beganovic and Jack Crawford. Then we will have Ayato Iwasaki and Nicola Maranangeli from Oliver Gutta and Hamda Al-Kubaisi, Francesca Braschi and Owen Tangevelu from Levente Revej and Frederick Lubin, Amna Al-Kubaisi and David Morales, Sally Yaluch, Khaled Al-Kubaisi and Thomas Luedi. It should be a really interesting scrap from these drivers. And remember that there are 3 races within this one race, technically speaking. You have the Drivers' Championship, which is obviously what the main race is all about. There's the Rookie Cup for the leading rookie in the campaign. And there is the Masters race as well, which will taking place in the midfield. So we'll keep an eye on all of the drivers as they battle away for position. But up at the front, the 2 pinnacle twins of Delano Van Toff and Pepe Marti are going to be very close with each other as they want to race, they want to win. And so both drivers are obviously going to be working very hard to ensure they can be the driver to get that done. But we are in for a very interesting time and a very close battle. What can Isaac Hajar do in this race? He's had good opportunities, but they all kind of fell apart at the seams as he battled away for position. 6th position for Pierre-Louis Chauvet. What can he do this time, along with his great rival, Patrick Pasma, who is just in behind him? And then, of course, Leonardo Fornaroli. All opportunities he's been given this weekend have kind of been stripped from him through various different means. It's a very momentous weekend. This time last year, Guanyu Zhou was picking up a race victory on the Chinese New Year. Well, we're celebrating it again this weekend in Formula Regional Asia. Away from the Chinese shores, of course, but we are still celebrating it here in the United Arab Emirates, and we've gone very much into the Year of the Tiger mode down in the pit lane here at Dubai Autodrome. It's been feeling very festive and very, very aspirational, and everybody wishing each other good cheer and good hopes for the year ahead. But now we go racing for the 3rd and final time. As Ridimar pointed out on the starting line, cooler conditions because the wind has picked up. The sun is starting to set. It's nowhere near set yet, but it's definitely the hottest part of the circuit in certain parts of the course. And in others, particularly on the main straight, when there is a shade overlooking the main straight, the track is going to get cooler. So there will be a bit of a variation in this race as different corners and different parts of the circuit are going to feel different to the drivers as they prepare for race action. So for the last time this season, Sebastian Montoya puts himself into his track position. Just looking at the cars as they come into line on the starting grid. And the drivers are hoping to be in their correct positions as they come through. And into the pit lane comes Amna Al-Kubaisi. So Amna Al-Kubaisi is going down pit road. So unfortunately, it looks as though she will start this race from the pit lane, if she will take the start at all. So that is very unfortunate for Amna Al-Kubaisi, but for everyone else, the engine revs will rise, the lights will come on, and when they go out, we'll be racing once again here at Dubai Autodrome. It's round 3, race 3. Green flags fly at the back of the straight. Are we going to go racing at Dubai? First time of asking. Let's do it! Great start from Pepe Marti. Delano Van Toff is going to try and block him away. There's a couple of cars left on the start line, but Pepe Marti is going to try and beat his teammate to the first corner. Delano Van Toff is going to be on the outside. He's going to need to be brave if he wants to keep Pepe Marti back, but Marti is going to get the lead. Pepe Marti leads, and around the outside, Isaac Hajar has come up into 3rd place. He's beaten both the Mumbai Falcons off the line, but he's going to lose it down to 4th position once again as he drops in behind Arthur Leclerc, who has gone up into 3rd position off of the start. So Arthur Leclerc is in 3rd, and then it is Isaac Hajar. Hajar is going to try and move on the inside. He can't get through there. And as the rest of the field snake their way around, it looks like Montoya has slotted himself neatly into 5th position as they come through on this lap. Amna Al-Kubaisi looks to be out of the race already with mechanical problems. So, down the back straight, and it looks as though Marti is still in front of his teammate Delano Van Toff. Van Toff is swarming around all over the back of his teammate. Marti is trying to shake off his teammate as drivers are already trying to use the slipstream and sort out the toe up towards the slowest corner on the circuit. A couple of drivers look like they're going to try and make a move or two as they break for the hairpin. Everybody want to get through in a reasonable position, but they also don't want too much drama. Looks like everything is tickety-boo through the field at the moment, as there comes Dino Beganovic, the race 2 winner, trying to sort himself out. He didn't get the best of qualifying for this particular race. 3 into 1 is not going to be so easy for the cars to get through. Have they managed it? How on earth did they get out of that without contact? That is absolutely amazing. 3 into 1 corner definitely doesn't go normally. And so they just about avoid the impact. And as a result of that, they can continue racing wheel to wheel. As up the inside, that is Dino Beganovic trying to make his way past one of the 3 wide technology cars. But out in front, it is Pepe Marti in front of his teammate Delano Van Toff. And the 2 pinnacles will try and skate away from Arthur Leclerc, who is hoping to make it 3 different Mumbai Falcons winners across 3 races. Marti, Van Toff, Leclerc, Hajar. And in behind them, we've got Pasma battling away with Leonardo Fornaroli. Patrick Pasma trying to get past the Italian into turn 1. And so far, so good for Patrick Pasma. The Finn is getting back into the stride of Formula Regional Asia. He was a race winner last year under the guise of F3 Asia. But now he is really starting to make some big plays here as they continue to battle. Pepe Marti in front of Delano Van Toff. Arthur Leclerc is there in 3rd position. Then it is Isaac Hajar from Sébastien Montoya and Pierre-Louis Chauvet in 6th position ahead of Pasma, who is now in front of Fornaroli, I do believe. I think he might just have got him into turn 1. We'll watch as they come through. Well, we would have watched if it got through, but we decided to switch across to the midfield. So Marti and Van Toff down the main straight. Arthur Leclerc. Then a little bit of a gap. Then Isaac Hajar. And in 5th place is Montoya. Marti trying to break the toe from Van Toff. Van Toff might go the long way round here, and we've seen drivers make that overtake before. He's going to come out of the corner faster than Marti. Still good battles mid-apex as several drivers are trying to make an overtake or 2 in the middle of the catchment. Marti still hanging on in front of Van Toff. Van Toff is going to go the long way round here. He locks up. That's really going to compromise him on the exit, and Arthur Leclerc is going to have a run on him on the way down to 14. So Van Toff has got to get closer to Pepe Marti. He's doing so. Marti's going to send him the long way round. There's no way he's going to make it easy for him on the inside line. Marti drifts across in the apex. Leclerc is tightening up. Van Toff wants to go the long way round. Leclerc backs out of it. He doesn't need to get that close to the 2 cars in front of him. He's got to bide his time here. Into the final corner. And Leclerc having a go at Van Toff. Van Toff defends well as they go through the apex. So onto the main straight once again. Pepe Marti leads the race. Hajar gets a little bit loose but manages to catch it back. Leclerc is very close to the back of Delano Van Toff now. And he pops out. Surely he's going to have the momentum down to turn 1. Van Toff doesn't have a lot he can do except hold it right round the outside, but Leclerc is going to be strong, and he gets through in a 2nd place. Arthur Leclerc into B2. Van Toff is going to try and get the switchback manoeuvre, but it's not going to work as Patrick Pasma steals the fastest lap of the race away from Delano Van Toff, who did have it initially. But Patrick Pasma is the fastest man on track now. The Flying Finn doing a great job. Currently running in 7th place ahead of Leonardo Fornaroli and behind Pierre-Louis Chauvet. So Pasma is really getting on with this now as he drops his latest opponent. And there is Pasma getting close in behind. Then Fornaroli in 8th. Beloff and Dufek, who has moved up to 10th place ahead of Flusha, Polaron and Dino Beganovic, who is struggling in 13th place. All that hard work to win race 2, and the tyres are obviously not as easy to manage this time. Van Toff has a look at Arthur Leclerc. Leclerc is going to keep his position. They're in 2nd place. So they continue on. But Pepe Marti in front of Arthur Leclerc, and then Delano Van Toff is 3rd. Arthur Leclerc having just taken that position away from Delano Van Toff into turn 1 at the beginning of the lap, but when they came across the line, it was the other way around. So now Pepe Marti in front of the Mumbai Falcons car of Arthur Leclerc, with Delano Van Toff still trying to stay with them in 3rd place. Isaac Hajar in 4th. Montoya is 5th. And then Pierre-Louis Chauvet in 6th place in front of Patrick Pasma, Leonardo Fornaroli, Michael Beloff and Joshua Dufek of Switzerland, as they continue to run together in fighting formation. Can Pepe Marti hold off the attentions of the men behind him? So let's have a look at how Arthur Leclerc got his way through on the inside at turn 1 on the previous lap. There it is. He's got alongside Delano Van Toff very well indeed and very early on. And even though Van Toff is trying to leave the braking later, Leclerc is just so determined. He holds the car there on the inside of the apex, and there's not a lot Van Toff can do to respond. So Leclerc gets through into 2nd position. So back to live pictures once again. And at exactly the same point, just a lap later, and Leclerc has his sights firmly set on the race leader, the Spanish talent, Josep Maria Martí, known to his friends as Pepe Martí. So Pepe Martí doing a great job as he twitches a little bit in the lead of the race. This is not easy to hold on to. Remember that the race 3 race is always going to be very tricky on tyres because you only have 3 sets of tyres to take you through the whole race weekend, and this is when the tyres will be at their weakest in the 3rd and final race. So it's all going to come down to tyre management. Martí trying to break the toe from Arthur Leclerc. Leclerc is very close to him this time. Leclerc might have a chance down into the slowest corner from the fastest point of the course. This is where Arthur Leclerc is going to try and make his bid. Martí knows it's coming, so he holds the middle of the circuit. But what will Leclerc do on the switchback? Will he get the chance to out-sprint Martí? Very well held by Pepe Martí. He holds the lead for the moment as they come through. Arthur Leclerc is going to need to try something pretty special to get past the Spanish talent here. So Arthur Leclerc is seeking his 2nd race win of the season. And what a hat-trick that would be for Mumbai Falcons if they could get all 3 race wins with all 3 drivers as well. So Martí, Leclerc, Delano Van Toff. Isaac Ajar is still holding off Sebastian Montoya. Bit of a late braking move from Delano Van Toff, but Arthur Leclerc is not phased. The Monegasque is right there in 2nd position, still trying to hustle Pepe Martí. Martí still holding on to the lead. 4th place is now Sebastian Montoya. He's got past Isaac Ajar. Here they come again. When the Falcons take off, you know you are going to be watchful prey. So down the main straight, Arthur Leclerc is now sizing up his prey, and Pepe Martí is desperately trying to shake him off. Will he try exactly the same move? He's got plenty of time. He doesn't need to rush this manoeuvre. So once again, Arthur Leclerc just sizing up what Pepe Martí will do. And at the moment, Martí is proving to be a little unpredictable as into the pit lane comes one of the Evans GP cars. That is Levente Revesh. So Levente Revesh has gone into the pits, and we are told that there is a penalty for Khaled El Kubaisi, a 5-second time penalty for a false start, we are told. That is unfortunate. So he's got to basically close in on Salih Alouch, get past him and pull 5 seconds clear. As up the inside, Arthur Leclerc suddenly finds the move from nowhere on Pepe Martí, and he takes the lead. The championship leader, Arthur Leclerc, has hit the front, but it's not done yet. Pepe Martí's getting back alongside him on the exit as they go down the back straight. Martí has got a wheel in front. He's going to try and squeeze Arthur Leclerc out. Arthur Leclerc will not be intimidated, but Martí has got him back. He's going to drift wide. Leclerc's going to get alongside. They almost bang wheels. And now Arthur Leclerc will try again. Now he's going to get up alongside on the exit. Martí is there. Van Toff is going to come through. Nearly past both of them. Now he's going to get alongside Arthur Leclerc. Leclerc's going to hold it round the outside. And now the 3 of them are battling. Sebastian Montoya is loving this because he's catching up to all 3 of them. Delano Van Toff moves a nose ahead. Leclerc will still be on the inside for the next apex. Delano Van Toff is trying to squeeze him. Sebastian Montoya is keeping a watching brief right round the outside. Van Toff is going to cover Arthur Leclerc, and he's back in a 2nd position. The lead has changed a couple of times now over the last couple of corners, and watch for Montoya. He's going to try and get past Arthur Leclerc. This is brilliant racing in the 3rd and final race of the weekend as Pepe Martí leads over the line. Oh my goodness, what a big launch from Leclerc as he comes right up alongside Delano Van Toff. You're not going to squeeze me again. And now he's going to have Montoya to his left. Montoya's going to hold it round the outside as Leclerc goes through. Montoya has to back out, but Leclerc is back in a 2nd. Van Toff is trying to get back on terms with Leclerc, and Montoya is now hunting him down. Isaac Ajar has dropped back to 5th ahead of Pasma, Chauvet and Fornaroli, but Pepe Martí has been given leave to disappear. So amazing stuff so far as the drivers continue on their way. Martí, Leclerc, Van Toff and Montoya. And all 4 drivers have a chance of this. And look who's in 5th place. That is Patrick Pasma. Where did he come from? Patrick Pasma is suddenly on the back of these 4. Isaac Ajar appears to have disappeared. We're not entirely sure what's happened to Isaac Ajar, but he is not there anymore. So Isaac Ajar was running in 5th position at the start of the lap, but he definitely isn't now as they work their way through turn 10. So we're going to have to try and figure out what has happened to the Red Bull of Isaac Ajar. I should say the high tech. There he is! There is Isaac Ajar. He's come to a stop at the end of the pit lane as Paul Aron comes into the pits with a broken front wing, and we are safety car. Paul Aron comes in with a broken front wing. So he's out of the race. Isaac Hajar is out of the race. Yet more mechanical maladies for Isaac Hajar. What does the Franco-Algerian have to do to cut a break? His consistency has been brilliant, but he's had absolutely no fortunes at all here this weekend. So very tricky stuff. Yellow flags and safety car, and that is obviously for Isaac Hajar, who has pulled his car to a stop at the edge of the pit lane. And with that car on the racing line, that is obviously in a dangerous position. Let's go back and have a look at some of the moments from the race. We can watch the start again as Paul Aron gets himself out of the car. So this is Marty versus Van 't Hoff. Marty always had the better start. But watch Isaac Hajar. He's trying his best to split the Mumbai Falcons. He's managed to do so initially, and then Montoya has to let him go. Hajar almost comes right round the outside into third, past Arthur Leclerc. But Leclerc squeezes him on the far side and makes sure that Hajar doesn't quite manage to get all the way to third position. So some good battling and some good defensive strategies there. Montoya very nearly tangled with Chauvet at that point, but they just about stayed away from each other. So some great battles all the way through up to this point. That was such a move from Arthur Leclerc on Dylan Van 't Hoff, and he almost got the move done on Pepe Marti to take the lead of the race at this point here. He just suddenly popped up the inside and said, I can get this, but he just twitched on the exit, and that was enough for Pepe Marti to get back into the lead of the race, despite whatever Arthur Leclerc could throw at him. And then we almost had Montoya going around the outside of Van 't Hoff into turn one. So we're back to live pictures. It's been very exciting and very intense so far. But we are under safety car due to the retirement of Isaac Hajar, who has very sadly ended up behind. Unfortunately, the safety car has come out because of Isaac Hajar's retirement. So Pepe Marti is your leader, Arthur Leclerc in second, Dylan Van 't Hoff is in third, then Sebastian Montoya, Patrick Pasma, Pierre-Louis Chauvet is in P6, and then Michael Belov has moved up to 7th position. 8th place is Leonardo Forlaroli, 9th position is Josh Dufek, 10th is Lorenzo Flusha, and then Crawford, Goethe, Manon Angeli, Francesco Braschi. There is Isaac Hajar's car being toured in by the recovery crew, so this might not be a long safety car period. 15th behind Francesco Braschi is Freddie Lubin, then Hamdar Al-Kubaisi, Owen Tangevelu, and Ayato Iwasaki from David Morales and Salit Yaluch. Then it's Dino Beganovic down in 21st. I think he may have been in the incident with Paul Aron. So that is where that has all ended up coming a cropper. And then behind Beganovic we have Khaled Al-Kubaisi, Thomas Luedi, and then our two retirements, Isaac Hajar and Paul Aron. So the safety car is out on the circuit here in the third and final race of the weekend. So a very difficult situation for the competitors out there on the course. Now, just trying to sort a few things out on the course, but you can see that the safety car period is still ongoing. And that brings us up to the halfway point in this race. I have a feeling we're going to get started again the next time around. We just didn't quite have enough time once the recovery crews had got out of the circuit. We didn't quite have enough time to go green that time by, so they do have to complete an additional lap. But the recovery crews have managed to maneuver Isaac Hajar's car well off the racing line, so this time by we should be able to go racing again without too much difficulty. But it's going to be one hell of a battle when they do, because Pepe Marti was really struggling to hold off Arthur Leclerc, Dylan Van 't Hoff and Sebastian Montoya. And this is very much Pinnacle versus Mumbai Falcons now. Two cars in each team, and the quartet will battle away as they duel for position. It's going to be a really interesting battle and a proper squabble between these four cars. But watch out for Patrick Pasma and Pierre-Louis Chauvet. The men who won races last year are trying to get themselves onto the podium in this race here at Dubai Autodrome in 2022. Belov is not far away either. Don't forget he finished second in race 2, so Belov has a good chance here of getting some solid points. 8th for Fornaroli, 9th for Dufek, and 10th for Lorenzo Flusha. So it's definitely going to be an interesting challenge and a stupendous battle when we go racing again. But we will have a very close quarters race when the lights go out on the safety car and when we are ready to go to battle once more. So the safety car, Michael Kozlinski and Katalin Wojciech at the wheel of that BMW. We heard from Katalin Wojciech at the start of the build-up. Always great to hear an interesting angle, and certainly from Katalin, you're always going to get an interesting angle. One thing they didn't talk about at the start of the race is that earlier this week, Katalin Wojciech was actually Ridimar's coach when she took herself in the Formula DXB around the Dubai Autodrome circuit. Brilliant to see her get fully endorsed and engrossed into the world of motorsport. Safety car lights are out. We're going racing again. So Marti is going to back up the pack here. He'll come into shot very shortly. And Pepe Marti, there they are. Marti is backing up Leclerc, Vanthof and Montoya. Pasma is already seeking it, and I think Marti's already dropped the hammer. As he's gone into the hairpin, he's backed them up and he's dropped the hammer. Now what will Arthur Leclerc do on the way out? Because as they come through on the far side, we are going to go racing straight away. Pepe Marti out of the final turn. Pasma's already starting to hustle Sebastian Montoya as they come off the final turn. And green, 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 green. We are racing once again. Pepe Marti, Arthur Leclerc in second. Delano Vanthof is third. And fourth is Montoya ahead of Pasma, Chauvet, Belov, Fornaroli, Dufek, Flusha, Crawford and Oliver Goethe. So down to the first corner. That looks like Chauvet is trying to shake off Michael Belov as they go into turn one. That first corner is completely under shadow. And then they go straight into the harsh sunlight of the second and third corners. And as they go on to the remainder of the Grand Prix loop, this is where the cars are going to be pushed to the limit. They go left, they go right, they go left, they go right, and they've got to really look after the grain of the tyre as it starts to drift away. Leclerc's getting close to Pepe Marti already. All it takes is one little error in judgment and concentration from either of them, and this race is going to blow wide apart. So through the midfielders come, still trying to get themselves into a position, and down the back straight. And Marti is already worried about Arthur Leclerc. He's trying to break the tone nice and early from the Monegasque, swarming around this way and that way, trying to second guess where he's pitching the car. And Arthur Leclerc is not quite close enough to make it happen. So essentially all that Pepe Marti does is second guess himself. And he's made a mistake through the hairpin. He's got it wrong. And Arthur Leclerc is going to get him. Leclerc will take the lead here. He's in front. Marti overcooks it in the hairpin. And Arthur Leclerc takes the lead. Now his teammate Delano Vanthof is going to try round the outside to get back in on Pepe Marti. And the two pinnacles are now wheel to wheel for second. And Sebastian Montoya has a grandstand seat for this. But a mistake from Marti puts Arthur Leclerc in the lead as Delano Vanthof gets through in a second place. He's going to beat his teammate to the braking zone. Marti will take it right round the outside, but Marti can't hold it. Now he's going to try and cut straight back in to get past his teammate, and that has left Arthur Leclerc in the lead. He's got it back again. So now Arthur Leclerc is looking for his second win of the season to increase his championship lead up front, and still the pinnacles are side by side. Marti and Vanthof come out of the final turn together, and Montoya is watching them very closely, as is Patrick Pasma. Belov has got past Chauvet, and they're battling together. Down in the braking zone, Vanthof around the outside, but his teammate Marti comes through to the inside. That means that Montoya and Pasma just have to get out of the throttle for a fraction. Vanthof is going to chop back across to the left and then sweep in for the right-hander to try and get back on terms with his teammate. Arthur Leclerc is loving this. They're already becoming a speck of dust in the distance in his rear-view mirrors. So Arthur Leclerc is in the lead of this race. Delano Vanthof is now battling away with Pepe Marti in their duel for second place. And it is Marti who is in front of Vanthof as Pasma makes his bid for Montoya. Patrick Pasma tries to get on the inside of Sebastian Montoya. That was a little bit eager. It didn't work out. So Arthur Leclerc is leading with less than 10 minutes to go. And now it's going to be a really sensational scrap in the midfield as Montoya is desperately trying to shake off Pasma. Pasma's going to go the long way round. Pasma will lock up in the braking zone, but if he keeps his car to the left, he might just have the opportunity to get on the inside of Montoya. Montoya will not give him the space, and Montoya holds it. And now comes Belov alongside Pasma. So Pasma goes back on the inside for Montoya. Oh, I thought there was going to be a little bit of nargy-bargy there, but there wasn't. And so now Belov and Pasma are wheel to wheel. Belov is going off the track trying to stay alongside Pasma. Pasma's trying to keep the place. There's not a lot between them. Down to the braking zone, and Belov's going to go the long way round. And Pasma just about hangs on to it, but Belov will cut back in on the inside. Then he has to bail out of it. So Pasma holds the position. But Belov is going to try again, and he's got Chauvet and Fornaroli for company. Josh Dufek is 9th in front of Flusha, and the two friends are battling side by side as they come off the final corner. And Flusha's in front of Dufek for the moment. But for Arthur Leclerc, this is a golden opportunity. He runs in front. It's all going well as Flusha continues to battle with Josh Dufek into turn 1. And the two of them will run side by side behind this trio of cars. So Flusha and Dufek are battling over the last couple of points-paying positions. Oliver Goethe is in front of Jack Crawford and Nicola Maranangeli. Hamda Al-Kubaisi is having a much stronger race this time as she runs in 14th position in front of the likes of Brushy, Iwasaki, I should say, sorry, Beganovic, Lubin, Tangevelu and David Morales. So let's see if we can watch again that moment where Arthur Leclerc was able to get one over on Pepe Marti at the foot of the back straight. So this is it. This is Marti. He's obviously in the middle of the road. He's defending. He's got so much space here on Arthur Leclerc. But look, he just misses his braking point altogether. The back end steps out. And Arthur Leclerc has it nice and easy to draw level. He's got more momentum. He's got more grip. And the traction comes to him. And Arthur Leclerc takes the lead. That was almost plain sailing, like taking a lollipop off a baby. So that was very, very tricky there. So Marti and Van Toff then ended up having their own squabbles. And it's currently Marti in front of Van Toff. Back to live pictures. And Arthur Leclerc is in front of Pepe Marti and Delano Van Toff. Then it's this man, Sebastian Montoya, looking to bow out of the Formula Regional Asian Championship 2022. His last race of his campaign before he reverts back to European competition. Currently running in 4th place ahead of Patrick Pasma. And of course, next week we will see Oliver Behrman, the young man from Chelmsford in Essex in the UK, take his position in the Mumbai Falcons team for the last 2 weekends of the season. So Montoya in front of Pasma, those two battling away for 4th position. Arthur Leclerc has got just a handful of laps. As round the outside, that is brave from Nicola Maranangeli going wheel to wheel with Oliver Goethe. Oliver Goethe is trying his best to hold the position. And there is Montoya versus Pasma, 4th and 5th. Belov, Chauvet. Then it is Fornaroli, Flusha and Josh Dufek in front of Jack Crawford with Maranangeli trying to make his way through. That looked to me like a move there from the 10 of Dino Beganovic. He's made his move there to get past Ayato Iwasaki. So Dino Beganovic is charging his way through the field, and that puts him up into 16th position. His next target is going to be the 3Y technology car of Hamda Al-Kubaisi, I do believe. So Hamda Al-Kubaisi, the youngest of the family, but certainly the one at the head of the family train at the moment, is going to be continuing her charge. But Dino Beganovic, who they are technically sharing garage space with, is going to be making the charge forward. So the two Evans GP cars are trying to shake off the very talented Pierre-Louis Chauvet, and that is Fornaroli. Big lock-up, thank you very much, says Lorenzo Flusha. I'll get on the inside, but Fornaroli is going to have to defend on the exit, and Lorenzo Flusha is doing his absolute best to stay in the fight for position. Fornaroli drifts across. Flusha now has to lock up. So it's stalemate between those two. But it is Arthur Leclerc who leads the race from Pepe Marti and Delano Van Toff, then Sebastian Montoya. Whoops, somebody's got into the marker board there at some point. Didn't quite see where that happened. So the battles continuing on. I'm being told that that's exactly what happened to Beganovic and Aron when they tangled. They actually took out the marker board on the approach to turn 14. So that's why that marker board is now in pieces. And obviously Paul Aron is out of the race. Beganovic is down in 17th, although I think he might now actually be in 15th place, having got his way past a couple of cars. So as they come through again, it is Leclerc, Marti, Van Toff, Montoya, Pasma, Belov, Chauvet and Flusha. But for Isaac Ajar out of the race, it couldn't really be any worse. They're all getting fastest laps in this race. First Leclerc, then Marti, then Van Toff, and now Sebastian Montoya getting the fastest lap of the race. A 1:56.7 for the Colombian, who is also, of course, battling for the rookie victory. But he's currently 2nd place in the Rookie Cup, because that is currently being led by Pepe Marti, who has taken back the lead of the Rookie Cup standings. And because he's going to be doing a full campaign, whereas this is Sebastian Montoya's last race, it's fairly a given that Pepe Marti is likely to become the de facto Rookie Cup leader by the time we get to the last race weekend at Dubai, which is next weekend. But the last race weekend of the championship is 2 weeks from now on the Yas Marina circuit at Abu Dhabi. So through comes Pepe Marti and Delano Van Toff after their little bit of a tussle with Arthur Leclerc. They are settling into a rhythm now in second and third. Looks to me like we're going to have 2 laps to go at the end of this one. So still, the race is very joined indeed from the start, but it would be good to see the 2 pinnacle cars go themselves onto the podium, because Pepe Marti and Delano Van Toff have not had the best of starts to their season, and it would be nice for them to come up with a podium finish, as Pepe Marti and Delano Van Toff have both come relatively close to the top spot. But it does look as though Arthur Leclerc is going to come away with the race victory he so richly deserves in this race. Pepe Marti and Delano Van Toff have been working hard as well, though. Montoya is there in 4th, and then the 2 Evans GP cars. It's great to see that team starting to get closer to the podium. The Evans GP cars of Patrick Pasma and Michael Belov. They have joined the championship from this weekend, and they are now on merit in the top 6. This is not because of a reverse grid. This is not because others' misfortune. They are there in fine style. Chauvet in 7th. Flusha is now 8th in front of Fornaroli and Dufek. And the last time those 2 met together on the circuit, it didn't go well. So Fornaroli trying to defend from his teammate Josh Dufek. And Josh Dufek in the high-tech GP car is trying to make his way into 9th place. That would be a couple of points, and it would also be a solid result in the Rookie Cup for the young Swiss. But his Italian teammate is in front of him, so he obviously wants to try and make the best of things from his point of view as well. But Arthur Leclerc is looking good to take an invincible-looking lead in the Drivers' Championship as we head to the final 2 race weekends and the last 6 races of the season. As up on the inside, that is Nicola Marinangeli trying to get his move on Joshua Dufek. I didn't see whether he managed to complete that or not. But Arthur Leclerc runs in the lead from Pepe Marti and Delano Van Toff, then Sebastian Montoya, Patrick Pasma, Michael Belov, and then Chauvet, Flusha, Fornaroli, Dufek, Marinangeli, Crawford, Goethe, Braschi, and Dino Beganovic, who is in 15th place now ahead of Hamdar Al-Kubaisi and Ayato Iwasaki. So still the Pinnacles hold on to their 2nd and 3rd places. It looks as though they're pretty much bringing this home for a formation finish in 2nd and 3rd. As Pepe Marti has been able to hold off Delano Van Toff. The Dutchman just doesn't quite seem to be able to get close enough to his Spanish teammate to make an obvious impact. But it's definitely going to be nice to see Marti and Van Toff in the Pinnacle cars in 2nd and 3rd places. It will show the continued progress of the Pinnacle squad as they continue to make progress through this season. By the end of the year, they could regularly be challenging for the win. So, last lap, Arthur Leclerc has one more time around here at the Dubai Autodrome. And he has a lead of 1.4 seconds over Pepe Marti, with Delano Van Toff in 3rd and Sebastian Montoya in his last race in the campaign. Looks as though he's going to get a 4th place finish, with Dino Beganovic rather sadly out of the points this time. But what we are going to see is his teammate Arthur Leclerc come through for a 25-point haul with a win. And it's definitely going to take him one step closer to becoming the Formula Regional Asian Champion. Still a long way to go. 6 races remain, but he has scored points in every single race, Arthur Leclerc, and he has got podiums more often than not. And so the young Monegasque, who is the younger brother of Charles Leclerc and part of the Ferrari Driver Academy in his own right, is on course. As the Mumbai Falcon gets out of the way of a real Falcon by the look of it. Goodness me. He was so keen on the Mumbai Falcon's performance, he's flown in to watch it. Goodness me. That was a spectacular picture there as Arthur Leclerc runs home on the last lap, running out of time. They can't just unite a nation, they can unite a species by the look of it, as Arthur Leclerc runs through in the final few corners of this race in front of Pepe Marti. And this is going to be unheard of. They got a win in the first race of the season, Mumbai Falcons. They got a 1-2 finish in the second round last time out in Dubai. This week, they've managed to get a 1-2-3 finish in yesterday's race. Earlier today, Dino Beganovic got the 3rd different race win from a Mumbai Falcon. And now Arthur Leclerc is going to make it 3 wins from all 3 drivers this weekend for the Mumbai Falcons team. That is an amazing achievement. It'll be his 2nd win of the year. Oh, Pepe Marti in the penultimate corner nearly throws it all away. But for Arthur Leclerc, it's blissful victory. He wins in the third race of the weekend. All three Mumbai Falcons drivers have now taken a race victory this weekend, and Arthur Leclerc has taken an unassailable lead at the top of the driver's standings. Pepe Marti in second place, Delano Van Toff in third. What a sensational scrap it was. And Sebastian Montoya bows out of Formula Regional Asia with a fourth place finish and moves into second place in the Drivers' Championship in the process. Well, it's truly been sensational from the get-go, but Arthur Leclerc now has 121 points in the drivers' standings. It's 3 wins out of 3 for Mumbai Falcons. They've never done that before. They just keep breaking their own targets and smashing their own records every time they come to battle. They won a race in the first round with Sebastian Montoya. They won a race again with Arthur Leclerc at Dubai last week. Then they managed to get a 1-2 in that particular race. They got a 1-2-3 yesterday with Montoya ahead of Leclerc and Bogdanovic. Then they got Bogdanovic to the victory in the first race earlier today, so that all 3 Mumbai Falcons drivers can now call themselves race winners. But they've eclipsed all 3 wins in the weekend now, as Arthur Leclerc comes through for the win. Arthur Leclerc gets the victory from Pepe Marti and Delano Van Toff, from Montoya, Pasma, Beloff and Chauvet. Flusha ahead of Fornaroli and Dufek. They score the points. Maranangeli, Crawford, Goethe, Brashi, Bogdanovic and Hamda Al-Kubaisi. From Iwasaki and Lubin, Morales and Tanjavelu. And then the winner in the Masters race this time is Salih Yalouch for the 3rd time. Khaled Al-Kubaisi 2nd and Thomas Luedi is 3rd. The retirements were Isaac Ajar, Paul Laurent, Levente Revej, and the man who couldn't complete, the driver, I should say, who couldn't complete the first lap, which was Amna Al-Kubaisi with mechanical problems for the Emirati, and she did not take the start. So, the Mumbai Falcons Monegasque, Arthur Leclerc, who was already leading the Drivers' Championship, leads it by even more now, 131 points in the Drivers' standings, ahead of Pepe Marti, who moves into second place in the drivers' standings on 96, which means that Arthur Leclerc is now 35 points clear in the Drivers' Championship with 6 races to go. And the man who will step into an FIA Formula 3 car in the Formula 1 paddock later this year, well, watch out for him, because he is going to be taking names and making moves. His 2nd win of the season, Arthur Leclerc is the absolute championship leader with a 35-point lead, heading to the 4th weekend, also here at Dubai Autodrome next week. What a great job. What a great drive. And so Arthur Leclerc makes it 3 wins for all 3 drivers this weekend for the Mumbai Falcons team. Pepe Marti moves into 2nd in the drivers' standings. Montoya bows out, having moved into 3rd in the drivers' standings. Bogdanovic is still 4th on 88 now. Isaac Ajar is on 71. David's still on 64. Lorenzo Flusha is moving up, 7th place now on 56 points, ahead of Gabriele Mini, Jack Crawford and Gabriel Bortoletto in the top 10. Van Toff has moved up to 11th in the standings with that 3rd place finish. But Pepe Marti is now Arthur Leclerc's closest championship rival. He is 2nd in the championship standings. Well, absolutely phenomenal from Pepe Marti. A great weekend for him. 2 fourths and a 2nd. Only Arthur Leclerc has scored more points than Pepe Marti this weekend. But what a phenomenal battle it has been throughout. There is the Mumbai Falcons team. 3 wins out of 3. And there's their lucky charm. She's visiting this weekend. I think she can come back. 3 wins out of 3. Excellent. Congratulations as well to the 34 car of Salih Yalouch. He takes his 3rd win in the Masters category this season. Sorry, that will be his 2nd win. No, it is his 2nd win, because Thomas Luedi had the win at Abu Dhabi. And Khaled Al-Kubaisi has won all the other races this season, other than race 2 and 3 here and race 2 in Abu Dhabi. So fascinating stuff, great battles, and some amazing race performances. So Ridhima Patak is down in the pit lane, and she has found our race 3 winner, Arthur Leclerc.
Well, thank you so much, Jake. And of course, there's been a bit of a routine here now for Arthur Leclerc, and especially all the Mumbai Falcon drivers. Coming on the podium has become a routine, isn't it?
It's a great weekend. I'm really happy because last weekend we were really struggling with the pace, but we found something. Now we are quite fast. So yeah, really happy about the weekend. 3 podiums. Yeah, what else?
Indeed, you guys are very happy about it. But take me through the challenge that you had right there on the track, especially with Pepe Marti coming very close.
It was really hard. I mean, they were really fast on the straight, so it was really difficult to attempt an overtake. But yeah, we managed to get out of trouble, even though it was really close. But yeah, I'm really happy. We maximized the opportunity this weekend, and that's the principle. That's
right. If you had to give a wrap on the particular weekend that Mumbai Falcons have had, you know, as a team member of this team, where each and every single driver has won the race, what do you want to say about that?
It's just the result of really hard work. I mean, we are really working hard all the weekend. Even between the weekend, we are looking for some pace. So I mean, yeah, we did well the job, and we are not finished.
That's right. Now, Arthur, you know, I had a chance to speak to Hadrian David, you know, when he won the race, and I asked him, what is his pre-drive routine like? What is yours like?
What is what?
What is your pre-drive routine like? What do you do before getting in that car? Do you listen to music, or how do you get yourself in the zone?
I mean, me, it's just really get in the right mood. I mean, just look a bit what I did wrong the last session and try to improve every time, because I mean, yeah, something. I mean, we are driver. We are here to work on details, and that's working.
All right, perfect. Well, I wish you all the best and take on that particular prize. Well, that was Arthur Leclerc. Like I said, Mumbai Falcons have become the only team in this championship where every single driver of theirs has won the race. That in itself is a big feat for this particular team. They created history yesterday, and they definitely are on the way to create another one. Back to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Ridhima. Great to hear from Arthur Leclerc, our race 3 winner. As she pointed out, all 3 Mumbai Falcons drivers have won a race this weekend. That is very impressive. So now we look over the highlights of what has been a spectacular race battle in the 3rd encounter. Right from the start, Pepe Marti and Dylan Van 't Hoff were battling their way to the victory, but they reckoned without the chasing pack behind them. Marti had the upper hand initially as the leading rookie in the championship up to this point. He continues his incredible performance, and he led in the early doors. Isaac Hajar did have a charge to try and get after Arthur Leclerc, but he wasn't able to maximise it. And unfortunately, his challenge would slowly fade away. And as the leaders pulled clear, Arthur Leclerc would make his bid on Dylan Van 't Hoff. There would be some big battles. He would get his first initial overtake after an audacious manoeuvre from the Monegasque on this corner here. He decided the gap was there, went for the move, and just twitched on the exit. That was enough for Pepe Marti to get him on the end of the back straight, and the positions to reset themselves. Dylan Van 't Hoff thought he had a chance, so did Montoya, but in the end the Colombian had to concede. Then poor Isaac Hajar, more mechanical problems for the Red Bull young gun. He was out of the race. That brought out the safety car, and that drops Isaac Hajar down to 5th place in the Drivers' Championship. On the race restart, it was all about Marti versus Leclerc, and Leclerc was not about to back down from the challenge. There were some great races behind them as well. But once Arthur Leclerc had Pepe Marti under pressure, it was Marti that crumbled. He made the mistake, and Arthur Leclerc was able to make the move quite decisively and steal the lead. From there, it was about Pepe Marti just hanging on from his own teammate as Dylan Van 't Hoff tried his best. There were some moments in the race behind as Leonardo Fornaroli fought with the likes of his closest opposition, Francesco Braschi. But there would be some terrific battles all the way to the finish. But for Arthur Leclerc, he takes a mammoth lead in the championship. The Mumbai Falcon is absolutely on the top spot. Victory for him, second for Marti, who is now second in the championship, and Dylan Van 't Hoff chasing them home in 3rd. Montoya bows out in the points. Leclerc bows out of round 3 in the championship lead. Well, it's been an absolute fairy tale weekend for the Mumbai Falcons. All 3 races have been won by the Indian team, and they take a firm lead in the team's championship as well. The F4 UAE Race 4 is going to come out onto the circuit very soon indeed. There are the boys from the Mumbai Falcons. What a weekend. They could not have imagined this. Aditya Patel on the left-hand side, Ahmed Ibrahim on the middle of the course. And the other man in the picture there on the right-hand side was Amit Harjinder Gadok, who has been very much the driving force behind this Mumbai Falcons operation, alongside his partner Mohit Tungakar. But what an absolutely magnificent performance it has been. Since November 2019, when this team was set up, they have been breaking their own targets and smashing their own objectives. It really has been a phenomenal performance from them. And now we continue in fine style to see what these guys will produce next week as they get to the business end of the championship. But it's been an amazing performance. Let's give a bit of credit to Pepe Marti as well, who not only moves into second place in the Drivers' Championship with second place in this race, but he also takes the Rookie Cup victory for the 6th time in 9 races. Great performance from the Spanish talent. And well done to Delano Van Toff, who's had a bit of a difficult season. There is his father on the left-hand side of your screen. The Pinnacle Motorsport driver was meant to be here in race 1 of the round 1 of the championship, but he ended up falling ill on his way to the car in qualifying. So very unfortunate. He couldn't race that weekend and had to fight back over the next couple of days to get himself fit for round 2 at Dubai. And now he is 3rd position in the last race of the weekend. His attack starts here. But it's been an amazing weekend for the Mumbai Falcons. They really do deserve the plaudits from this. Going into the weekend, they never thought they'd get a 1-2-3. They never thought Dino Beganovic would produce the firepower that he did in race 2. And they certainly didn't think that all 3 drivers would get a race win apiece. But that is exactly what has happened as the Mumbai Falcons racing team take their 5th win in 9 starts. It's looking very good indeed for them. The other 4 races have been won by the 3Y by Race GP team. 3 wins for them between Gabriel Bortoleto and Hadrian David, and then Gabriele Mini for the high-tech Grand Prix team. So the podium ceremony is going to be next up for our 3 drivers, and it will obviously be a very spectacular one for Arthur Leclerc, who now matches Hadrian David and Sebastian Montoya. All 3 of them have a pair of wins to their name. The other race winners, of course, are Gabriel Bortoleto of Brazil, Dino Beganovic of Sweden, and Gabriele Mini of Italy. 2 of those, of course, Hadrian David and Gabriele Mini, as well as Gabriel Bortoleto, are no longer competing in the championship. But Sebastian Montoya has just finished his last race as well, so we wish him all the best for his campaign in Europe. And it's been wonderful to have Juan Pablo, Connie, and of course, Sebastian Montoya in the paddock. Here they come to the podium. And for the Pinnacle team, this is a good moment for them as well. Here's Delano Van Toff, 3rd position for the Dutchman. And he deserves his position there as well in P3. 2nd place, well, that will go the way of Pepe Marti, who now moves into 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship, picking up his 6th rookie win over the course of these 9 races. But the man on the top spot is Arthur Leclerc. For the 2nd time this season, it's the Monaco national anthem. So it's celebrations for Arthur Leclerc, his second win of the season, and he now moves 35 points clear in the Drivers' Championship. Pepe Marti becomes his nearest challenger, and the Mumbai Falcons win not one, not two, but 3 races this weekend, as well as taking a 1-2-3 finish yesterday and the lead of the team's championship. There are 6 races to go across the next 2 weekends. Join us in 7 days' time when we'll be back in action for the next round of the championship in Dubai. I'm Jake Sanson on behalf of me and Ridhim Alpatek. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. See you next week.